And good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. You are here live with Dr. Jeff Werber, your host for the next 30 minutes here on Pet Life Radio's live call-in show, Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. The key words there are call-in show. 3 words, call-in show. We want to hear from you. A couple ways to do it. Number one, probably the best way, the way I'm on right now, is go on to Pet Life Radio, click on the Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff tab, and if you kind of scroll down, you will see a Google Hangouts link. And it's really cool because we can see you here live. If you have, I'm sure you have a camera hooked up to your laptop or your phone, we can see you, you can see us, and you can show us your dog or your cat or your bird or whatever. And we can talk pets. So that's one easy way. The next way is to give us a call toll free. And that number is 877-385-8882. Once again, 877-385-8882. And lastly, which is really, when you think about it, become the slow way, is to actually send me an email while we're live, and that is Dr. Jeff at petliferadio.com. And it will be forwarded to me live on air, real time, and we can go ahead and talk about pets, whatever you want. That's why I'm here, is to help you understand better, to give you some suggestions. It's funny, I get stopped all the time. I've had friends before, veterinarians, that sitting on a plane, and this is only because it's just happened while I was going to the Global Pet Expo. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And some of my veterinary friends don't like to tell anybody that they are veterinarians. And the reason is quite simple, because when you do tell somebody that you're a veterinarian, it's, oh my God, can I ask you a question? And I get that all the time. And I actually enjoy it. I love it. I love talking pets. Obviously, that's why I'm here. And it helps people. Anything that I can do to sort of enhance that bond, that relationship between pets and their people makes me happy. That's been my goal. It's been close to almost the end of my 33rd year in practice come June. And that's what it's all about. So I never understood why people that if they really love this and they went into this for the right reasons, why they wouldn't want to talk about it all the time. So anyway, to each his own, as I say. So as I mentioned, just got back from the Global Pet Expo in Orlando, Florida. It's weird. This time of year is a very difficult time for veterinarians, period, let alone veterinarians who also have a presence or work in the pet industry, because we had the North American Veterinary Conference that was usually in the middle of January, but it was the first week of February, Super Bowl weekend. How crazy is that? And that was in Orlando. And then everybody kind of heads west to Las Vegas for the Western Veterinary Conference. Those 2 conferences are probably the largest in the world. I mean, they're getting upwards of 17,000 people or more when you think about the veterinarians, the technicians, the practice managers, the exhibitors, the speakers, the families that come along with all these people. They're crazy. And interestingly, that's why the North American Veterinary Conference used to split. First of all, it was at one hotel and the Marriott World Center. And then as they grew, they expanded to a second hotel with shuttles going back and forth. It was tough because the lecture halls were in different places. You had 10 minutes, if that, to run between one hotel and the other. So you're always late for the next lecture. And it was tough for the exhibitors because some people really wanted to just go to the main exhibit hall, which was in one hotel, and the smaller exhibit hall in another hotel. It was tough. So they finally moved this year to the Orlando Convention Center, which is a giant. And that's a convention center that we just came from for the Global Pet Expo. And in Vegas, there's plenty of room for the convention, though they're giving us more and more space. But it's tough to get all the people staying in one place. And that's the problem they're going to have now in Orlando, because there's no one hotel or even 2 or even 3 that can handle everybody. So they're spread out all over the place with shuttle buses. So it gets a little complicated, but it's at least nice that the convention itself and the exhibit hall itself is all in one place. So Global Pet Expo is used every March, and it is quite a sight. It's huge. It's even bigger as far as the exhibit hall and the space and the exhibitors. It's bigger than both veterinary conferences. Well, not obviously both combined, but both of them individually. And I mean, you need at least 1 day If not, they're usually 3 days. You need probably at least 1.5 to 2 of them just to see all the booths. And I don't mean walk by. I mean actually visit the booth, see what's going on. And there are so many trends that are happening in this arena right now. It's insane. And it's very impressive, actually. But these companies are always trying to innovate, trying to do, kind of one-upsmanship, something that someone's added something. Sometimes it's about reinventing that better wheel. You know what I mean? It's good. The old one was fine, but we can make it better. There's also a lot of automation that I'm seeing. Things that are actually helpful. But the new generation, the millennials, they like to do a little bit of everything, right? Everything is on their phone. Ask them a question, right now, out comes the phone. They want to pay by their phone. They want to do their banking by their phone. They want to order everything by their phone. They don't want to leave and their homes or their desks or whatever. And so when they get home at night, everything that they wanted is already there. It's rather remarkable. So there's a lot of technology going into things that you wouldn't really think technology had a place. I give you one such example. We've talked many times about obesity being the number one nutritional disease affecting our pets. And it's just not an unimportant disease. It's a hugely important disease because obesity leads to so many other problems, from joint and motion, locomotor, to cardiovascular, that's a heart, and vasculature and respiratory disease, increased incidence of cancer, increased incidence of diabetes, especially in cats. It is really something to be reckoned with. And yet, I don't know, roughly 54% of dogs and 59% of the cats are obese, with all the things, or I should say overweight or obese. Overweight is usually upwards of 25% above their optimal body weight. You get above 30%, then you're talking obese. And yet, as much as we talk about it, as much as colleagues of mine talk about it, there's a great website that is sort of created and managed by a very good friend and colleague of mine, Dr. Ernie Ward, and it's petobesityprevention.com. That's petobesityprevention.com, where it can help you so much with some issues that your pets are having with their obesity or just being overweight. And so what's fascinating, there are a number of food bowls out there, and this is really cool, that, again, they're linked up through Bluetooth to your phone. You can actually, one of them has the bowl itself has a scale, it's a base that is weighing the food. So once it is determined by going onto this app that comes with the bowl, you can determine what is the ideal weight for your dog and how much your pet should be eating. You can divide that into 2 or 3 meals, and the bowl will automatically tell you when that is met, that food is met, the caloric content. And then you stop filling the bowl. It tells you when the bowl is empty. If, for example, you fed your pet and then your spouse comes home and isn't sure whether or not the pet was fed because the bowl is empty, so he or she starts putting food in the bowl, and immediately the light goes on saying, dog's already eaten. So you don't even have to talk to each other. Everything is done automatically. It alerts you based on the bag that you start with. This is all input into your phone. So then when the bag, let's say we started as a 17.5-pound bag, and it knows how much it's getting every meal times 2 or 3 every day, it is doing the subtraction for you daily. So when you're getting down to that towards the end of the bag, it's going to alert you, now it's time to buy a new bag. And you can actually link it to some of these places that do the ordering, and it'll order the bag for you. So you'll never run out of food. It's going to be there all the time. So it's really cool. And of course, there are a couple of others that are like it. Some have some minor differences, but the idea is that's how technological the industry has become. There's also a new tag that I really like, and it had some beta testing in San Francisco area to a huge success. And basically it is a little ID tag It's a device that goes onto the collar. It's either a medallion type for a dog or the type that loops through a collar, which is a little smaller for a cat. And of course, a small dog can use that one too. And basically, your network of it's like Waze. It works just like Waze. The more people on it, the more they can be alerted. So if your dog is lost or your cat is lost, whenever it gets out of about a 600-foot radius from your property, then all these other people within 600 feet of there will get an alert that this pet is within the property. And I mean, your dog's not going to travel 200 miles. I mean, let's face it. So it's all within an area, and it's building as more and more people get the app. More and more people will be alerted, even people you don't know. And you can also input your entire phone, your contact list. So people that don't even have pets will download the app. So before you know it, everybody talks to everybody. Whenever there's a pet that's missing, you'll get an alert. And here's the beauty of it. It does not cost $99 like one of the least expensive GPS devices. It is $14.95. That's amazing. And because it's not GPS, there's no monthly subscription fee, nothing to keep it going. The battery, instead of having to be recharged twice a week as with a GPS device, this runs on a watch battery that's good for 6 months. It's amazing. So, and yet you can also track your dog. You can see, all you have to do is go on because it's working via Bluetooth like Waze. So you can know what your dog is doing. If the dog is supposed to be exercised and you know your dog walker takes a dog on a certain path, you can just go onto your app and you can follow your dog and make sure, he's not sitting in one spot, meaning that the dog walker is instead become a dog sitter and he's sitting in a park bench instead of walking the dog. You'll know because you'll see the activity. It's kind of like when you call Uber, right? And they connect you to your driver, and then you can actually go on to your app and you can watch. You can actually see your car, the Uber car that you've ordered is coming, and you can see it moving. You can see it going through streets and traffic. It's the same principle. It's absolutely amazing. And what I like about it is it's so, you couldn't buy a tag, but they also have a little thing that you can, for $9 or $10, you can get an engraved ID tag that snaps into the back of this device. So you're looking at a total $10 if you want the whole package, $15 for the pet tag, and then for the identification tag that will fit in another $10, $25. You couldn't order a really cool medallion engraved ID tag for much less than that, and you're getting a finder at the same time. So that's a really cool device. I'm gonna actually have a guest on to talk all about it and how it came about, because I think that was fascinating. I just thought it was great. Anyway, don't go away. We are, believe it or not, at our halfway point. I do want to, of course, mention our sponsors who are letting me be here with you today. Bravecto, one of the best flea products, flea and tick actually, good for 12 weeks. I love it. Safe, tasty. It's a nice, tasty chew and very, very effective. Of course, Save This Life Microchip, speaking of microchips, also runs a similar principle by helping through using Google Map technology. You can Google every pet, as every microchip has a number that comes along with it. You create a Google account, and you can again follow and track your pet via Google. And of course, Kong Veterinary Products, raising awareness of animal welfare through the arts, and they come up with fantastic, innovative products for both your pets and to make your lives with your pets easier. So anyway, we'll be back after these short words.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned. As a dog, I know a lot about fleas and ticks, so trust me when I say no other tasty chew protects dogs as long as Bravecto. One Bravecto chew keeps fleas and ticks away for up to 12 weeks. Be a good human and ask your vet about Bravecto. Bravecto may cause harm.
On Tuesday, May 2nd, 2017, save the date for the 5th annual NYC Retails and Sales Pet Product Expo. It'll be from 1 to 6 p.m. at Home Studios right in New York City. Plus, the presenting media sponsor is Pet Age Magazine. This event is a retail pet trade show brought to you by American Pet Professionals and Whitegate PR. It's an exclusive event for retailers and media. For more information, you can call Nancy Hassel at 631-446-1105 or myself, Dana Humphrey, at 619-414-9307. Plus, you can check out the website to learn more details at retailsandsalespetexpo.com.
I love cleaning the litter box, said no one ever. Luckily, there's World's Best Cat Litter, the litter that promises less mess with less litter. Only World's Best Cat Litter uses the concentrated power of corn to quickly trap odors in tight clumps. And quick clumping means you never have to chisel or scrape the box. Less cleanup with less wasted litter? That's a litter bit amazing. Save $2 on World's Best Cat Litter. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
What's better than a dog? Well, the answer is nothing. Well, world peace would be pretty good, but let's be realistic. The only thing better than a dog is hundreds, nay, thousands of dogs, all together at the greatest talk show in the history of Western civilization and quite possibly the universe. The World Dog Expo, June 9th through the 11th at the Meadowlands Expo Center in Secaucus, New Jersey. Masterminded by the top concert and pet show promoters in the world. Featuring championships in several major dog sports, huge meet-the-breed showcases, and so much more. Imagine an event that's part of Lincoln's Park Rock Concert, all designed for the education and entertainment of you and your dog. So what's better than a dog? The World Dog Expo, June 9th through the 11th at the Meadowlands Expo Center. For more information and to be part of the show, visit us at www.worldexpo.dog. That's www.worldexpo.dog.
Begging to hear more of your favorite show? Full episodes of all our shows are available on demand. Go to PetLifeRadio.com to fetch our entire lineup of Possum Pet podcasts. Also, dig us up in iHeartRadio and iTunes. Let's talk pets. Live and on demand, only from Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And welcome back. You're here live with Dr. Jeff Berber, here, your host of Pet Life Radio's Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. And we're talking about just having come back from the Global Pet Expo in Orlando. And it's amazing. It amazes me all the time. And, you know, what's interesting from a veterinary standpoint is how huge the pet industry is. And most veterinarians have no clue. I think at this show, I saw all colleagues of mine, Dr. Marty Becker, Dr. Ernie Ward was there doing his obesity and working with one of the companies that created that food bowl we just talked about, Dr. Danny McVitie. So there are a number of us that usually attend who sort of cross that line between the pet world and the vet world. And it's a line that really needs to be crossed because we need to understand better what's going on and what type of marketing is being done to you, the pet parent, the pet owner, the pet caretaker. I always say, pick your poison. When I talk about the terminology, some people don't like to use the word parents. Some don't like to use the word owner because, as we know, they usually own us. Caretaker, it's a little dry. I'm okay with parent. It's funny. The reason why they don't like parent, and I never get it, is that they're worried that if we refer to ourselves as pet parents, then that changes the obligations we have to our pets. Right now, a pet in most states is considered property, meaning no different than your TV set, your washer and dryer, your refrigerator. So if, for example, if you took your shirt into a dry cleaner and they completely ruined your shirt, what is their obligation? Well, their obligation is just to replace your shirt. And if there was a bill associated with what they were supposed to do, they either have to take care of it. But you can't collect or sue for emotional distress because they ruined your shirt. Even if it was your great grandmother's shirt and it's been in the family for 600 years, it doesn't make a difference. And I think the fear by many, including insurance companies, is that if we refer legally as our pets as our children, our four-legged kids, then is that going to change the relationship from a legal standpoint of what our obligations are? Do we have to provide by law a certain amount of care or a certain type of food? Or in other words, at what point is the legal authorities going to step in and tell us what we should be doing with our pets and for our pets? And to me, I think we should be doing the best anyway. So I don't think I think it's a no-brainer. But I think there are too many organizations and groups that are worried about it. So I still would like to. I'm a pet parent. I take care of my pets. I got lots of them, and they like my kids, or when my kids were younger, like my grandchildren now. If they want to chill out with us and sleep in the bed with us, that's fine. And there it's the relationship is great. I'm as worried about them, and the truth. How many of you out there that have said, "Oh my God, I take better care of my pets than I did of my kids"? And I hear it all the time when people come to my office, always commenting they're more worried about their pets than they are their kids. And it's funny, but you hear it about all the time. Anyway, so speaking of that, there are some toys, by the way, that are becoming more and more not just pet friendly, but first of all, that have behavior character traits to improve your pet's behavior as much as they do to occupy. Because as we know, that the many pets are I would say have a fear of being left alone. They develop an anxiety or stress. We call it separation anxiety, and they become destructive. So the more we can do to minimize the pet's negative, destructive behavior, the better off we'll be. So a lot of the toys that are being made now are actually meant to maintain the pet's attention way more, and also to take the responsibility away from you of having to praise and treat your pet. They get their own reward, their own satisfaction, their own reinforcement just from playing with a toy. And that's really cool. Speaking of which, one thing that I've been working with, and I was at the show, it is a really cool device called Calms. Again, we're going to have one of the Calms representatives on with me to talk about this, to talk about the research. But basically what it is, it's a kind of a harness, a vest/harness that wraps on the dog. It has a little device that sits on top of the back of the dog. It's right ideally between the third and fifth thoracic vertebrae. And what it does, it delivers a couple of things. Number one, a tone called a C note. You ever like play or see a tuning fork? You bang it and you put it up by your ear and you're hearing the tone, but you can also feel it. You can feel it going down your hands, your arm. So that is the principle. Not only that, we know for sure, and it's been studied extensively, that dogs and cats respond to certain types of music. So what this does is it's basically Beethoven's Fur Elise. It's a little modified version, but that's playing as well, plus the C note, plus which is about 128 hertz, plus the vibration of this device right over an acupressure point on the back. And the combination of these three stimuli is stimulating the vestibular sensory system, right? The peripheral nerves, all right, as well from the back, and feeling the vibration. And they call it something like neurosync technology, well studied. and it acts to actually calm the dogs down. And it's great. And you can set it. It's really cool. You can set it to whether you want a strong intensity or softer intensity. Duration. Once it's on, do you want it to go for 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 18 minutes? And then what they call repeatability. So it continues to cycle in your absence. It can repeat like every half hour or whatever. So it's really, really amazing. Not that expensive. And when you think about what people spend, first of all, when there's destructive behavior, on repairing destructive behavior, when you think about the medication, and when these pets are on medication, they need to be tested at least every 6 months to make sure that the medication is not, it doesn't have any untoward effects on the body physiology. So you're checking the liver, the kidneys, etc. The visits to the veterinarian. So if you factor all of this in, you're going to be spending way more than I think the $129 you're going to spend for this device called the Calm, CALMZ. Look it up. It's really, really fascinating. And the results, I mentioned they did some beta testing on this one as well. Of course, they gave 1,000 units away to people, and they were rated by the actual pet parent and also by the veterinarians. There was like an 86% favorable rating by pet owners, and including veterinarians, 91% by the veterinarians. And veterinarians say 91% said that they would recommend it to their clients that are having problems with, if their pets are having problems with anxiety. So check it out. You can go online, read about it. As I said, coming up in the next, who knows, hopefully not too far distant future, we are going to have one of the Calm's representatives. We're going to talk about the science, how this fascinating stuff works, why it works, and why it's so beneficial for your pets. And also, equally as important from my perspective, which we'll talk about, is what are the physiologic ramifications of stress, fear, and anxiety on our pets. It's huge. So anyway, good to be here with you. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors, Bravecto, Save This Life Microchip, KVP Kong Veterinary Products, and More Than a Cone events, raising awareness of animal welfare through the arts. And we will not be here. I will not be here live next week, but we will certainly be here the week after that. So looking forward to visiting with you. By the way, if there are any questions you have, or if there anything you want to talk about, anything going on right now with your pet that you would like some input, and that input that you don't have to pay for, free advice, free guidance, send me email to drjeff.com. With your permission, we will actually talk about the problem as well, without mentioning names, of course. And we will help you, because every time when you have a problem with your pet, I guarantee 100% there are other people out there, other listeners having the same problem. So everybody can learn from everybody else. And that's what I love to do. So don't go away. Well, go away for now. Have a great week, everybody. And we'll be back live in 2 weeks. But we're on next week. We're going to play a show. And I guarantee, hopefully I should say, you're going to learn something. I know you will. All right. Have a great week. And we'll see you soon.